Hello and welcome to my new channel called Gods and Canvases. I'm Robert Hammond. I'm an artist. I specialise mainly in fantasy art. I have another channel called RJH Creative Arts. If you're watching it on there, um, then I recommend that you come over and check out this new channel, because what I'll do is I'm going to break this introduction video down in parts, because I don't want to do the whole thing, which probably can take an hour, and then try and download it to YouTube, and it won't let me because I've had problems like that in the past. So what I'll do is I'll break it down into 10-minute sections, and then you can watch it that way. So okay, why the channel? It's interesting. As you know from if you've been watching my other channel, I do a little specialization in the Morrigan, which is she's a pagan Irish goddess. I've made some pieces based on her, because I do have an interest in mythology, gods, goddesses of the past, pagan gods and goddesses. I have an interest, an all-round interest in different gods and goddesses from different cultures like Hinduism, Buddhism, but also European gods and goddesses in a pagan society, pre-Christian. It's always been an interest to me, and this is expanding just on that. It's focusing on that, but also it's focusing on pagan artwork, really, which obviously covers gods and goddesses and their forms, what they're like, but also patterns, symbols within the patterns, and what they can mean. But this really is about encouraging myself. This channel really is focused on encouraging myself and you, if you're an artist or even if you're not, to tap into this, tap into your cultural roots through art and bring it out, which is very different than studying it intellectually, which I do recommend. But I think this is more powerful. This works more for me, as I will try to explain, and maybe you'll see and understand. So before I do, let me you would have seen this if you've seen the other channel, but that's all right. Let me give you a little introduction of my early work, because I started painting seriously around 2015. I had a break at school and then I really started up again. So this is early watercolour. This is the Morrigan, and let me adjust the lighting so you can see a little better like I do. It might be a bit bright. I'm sorry, this is a camera phone and the quality is not that good, but it'll have to do. So I make some shorts on this channel as well, so you can see them better. But so this is an early one with the Morrigan, with the curved trees and the curved wings and everything like that. It has a certain kind of flowing style that I did. That's a bit better. You can see a little better there. So this was about 10 years ago, and around the same time frame, probably exactly around the same time frame, you have another Morrigan one here. So she's the Irish goddess, the Irish shape-shifting goddess. Can have the form of a woman or a crow. She can appear as a young lady or an old hag or something like that. And I have a connection. I think I just have some kind of connection to this goddess, this energy force, if you want to call it that. Now here's a recent canvas, very recent, that's nearly finished, of her in two forms: the shadowy kind of luminous figure here, and then the crow or the raven here in its colours. And you can see I'm putting in some patterns here that I'm going to try and explain later. Okay, so recently I was looking at my artwork, and I was saying to myself, I think I've got some kind of style going on. I think I'm finally developing my own style and my own personal identity. Like, somebody can look at that if they like my artwork and see it, and they can go, oh, that's a Robert Hammond piece there, that's a Robert Hammond piece there. I can see how he draws angles or shapes I can see how he likes to draw movement, and I was observing that. Yeah, I like to draw movement and energy, and kind of almost like I'm trying to draw the life force animating through physical matter. That's what I really wanted to portray, as in it's alive. It's got spirit, you know. I was perhaps trying to. I feel I'm trying to say there's a like a, is it a metaphysical element to reality? You know, there's a subatomic force, you know, spirit, whatever you want to call it, you know, flowing through matter. So that's what I was kind of thinking, you know, because I'm doing this very unconsciously, and I'm not just trying to blow my own trumpet. I really am. And that's what makes it more interesting. So I was pleased with that. I was thinking, yeah, I think I'm developing my own style. And I was looking back as well at other pieces of art that I did, and I'm thinking I haven't changed that much. I've just kind of got more intense, and I've I guess it's refined. You know, I've gotten more into what I'm doing. I know what I like more instinctively, you know. Because here's another one that you've probably seen on the other channel, and I'm looking at the Morrigan one that I just did, and there's just connections there about how it, you know, the flowing energy and how I intertwine things. So this one is nearly 10 years old as well, the watercolor. And so I did a little prep work for this introduction video, because a couple of weeks ago I was just thinking to myself about Celtic shapes like spiral patterns and Celtic knots, connecting to. I'm European, as you probably know. I've got dark hair and everything, but so from my dad's side is English, and then my mum's side is Irish, so I'm half Irish really. So Morrigan, you know, maybe something I connect with ancestrally through my blood. Why not? So I was looking at Celtic spirals, and I actually just had a read up, and I was drawing these from picture. But let's just go through Celtic spirals. So you have the single spiral, which represents spiritual growth, the eternal flow of life and the universe. Okay, spirals symbolize continuous evolution, motion, and the transition between inner consciousness and outer cosmos. So here's a single spiral. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. If you've kind of studied this stuff, or you're an artist and you include it. But just a little kind of introduction to this. You've got the double spiral there. And this one symbolizes duality, balance, and the interconnectedness of opposing forces in nature. You have the triple spiral, 3 connected spirals representing the triad, like past, present, and future, land, sea, and sky, or mind, body, and spirit. So you have that one there. Moving on to Celtic knot art, you have, yeah, let's just have an introduction on that one before I go further. So this can represent eternity, interconnectedness, and the continuous cycle of life and death. Lines weave in an unbroken loop with no clear beginning or end. They represent the infinite nature of the spirit, universal harmony, and the unbreakable bonds between people. So here you have the Trinity knot, which represents life, death, rebirth, or past, present, and future. So here you have this one here, and you know, maybe this is nothing, but like I would like go running when I was younger, and recently I cycle on my cycle bike, and you know, you get the 3 squares, I think they're like manhole covers or something, sewage work or something, that are on pavements all the time. I always want to go over the 3, and I never want to go over the 2. And in my head I'm thinking, because the 3 represents mind, body, and spirit, I don't just want to be mind and body. In that duality, I actually want to make sure that I have my spirit, so I go over 3, and I think it gives me power. But if I go over a 2, it's like taking away my power. It's ridiculous, these little things that you think of superstitions could be ancestral, you know. Yeah, so I'm going to go through the Trinity knot. Continue with this. You have the love knot, which represents unbreakable eternal commitment between two people. And you can see this one here. And you have the shield knot, which is to ward off evil spirits and provide protection. That's an interesting one there. And finally, a Dara knot, which resembles an oak root system. It signifies inner strength, wisdom, and endurance. And that's the last one there that I drew today. Right. Let me come back in part 2. I'm going to wrap this first part of this video up and then continue it in part 2. So I'll speak to you soon. Cheers.